All right. Hey, welcome everyone. Thanks for joining to this SAP community call. It's a very special one. First, let me introduce myself. My name is Minina Chao. I'm part of the SAP community team, your host today. Very nice to have you with us. We are talking about the topic delivering on the promise of the intelligent sustainable enterprise powered by SAP Business Technology Platform. Sounds promising, right? With me are Phil Löwen, SVP and Global Head of Cross-Product Strategy and Product Management, as well as Stefan Peach, VP and Head of SAP BTP Product Management. Thanks for being with us, Phil and Stefan. Do you want to introduce a little bit about yourself before we start?
Sure, Stefan.
Sure, happy to start. So Stefan Peach, my name, as already introduced, I'm heading the global BTP product management function. So being responsible for inbound as well as outbound. And today I will talk about the various roles of the BTP, both for the intelligent sustainable enterprise as well as for our customers and partners.
Great to have you with us, Stefan. Phil.
Yes, Phil Löwen, running within SAP the cross-product strategy topic, cross-product strategy and product management in Philip Herzig's organization. So anything around cross-product architecture pieces and how we bring all the relevant messaging and topics to our customers, to our partners, to the outside world, but also across the internal parts of SAP. Some of the stuff that you might know that we do in collaboration with the T&I organization would be the strategy integration paper. So that's something that we collaboratively bring together in terms of new assets, new capabilities, and then jointly push out.
Awesome. It's really great to have you here. And guys, you see we have two diamonds here with us. So definitely take the opportunity to raise your questions. As always, in our SAP community calls, we'll have a dedicated time to address your questions. With that, happy to get started. Phil, over to you.
All right, thank you. So to make it very simple, I tried to make this strategy session from a product perspective as relative and relevant to our technical focused customers, partners, and prospects. So whenever we have the interaction on the intelligent enterprise from a business value narrative, the typical questions that you come up with is, how can I turn prospects into lifetime customers? How do I deliver the products and services that my customers might need? How can I run a resilient and sustainable supply chain? So all these business relevant pieces always require a proper narrative of how do I tie business processes, business capabilities, a strategy, but also technological aspects together in order to ascertain that. And coming out of roughly 15 years of technology consulting as such, the thing that I've seen always come up is all of the organizations that work with face complex and unintegrated process and data landscapes. So it's a very heterogeneous, very SAP and non-SAP centric environment. And the typical topics are, how do I bring all of that together, and how do we drive that narrative around third-party applications, SAP applications, legacy, data lakes, file systems, all the different topics that might come up. Now, in partnership with ASUG and Google Cloud, there was a study done that basically looked at what's the state of business transformation in this environment. So up at the top, you've got the status of business transformation that basically splits up into roughly 78% still being in the environment of early stages. They're still in planning. They haven't yet fully started on that journey. Whereas 22% are more of the veterans. They're in the later stage. They've fully completed their transformation already. The typical technology topics are around dashboard analytics, automation, transitioning from manual to digital processes, migration to the cloud, and any kind of disruptive technologies. But the complexities that come up are very focused around connectivity and integration issues, lack of internal cloud experience, and concerns with data sharing and data security. And that being said, the key topics that we need to focus on, how do we address these concerns in terms of complexities, but also how do we bridge any kind of knowledge, any kind of integration knowledge that's necessary in order to take that 78% grouping of customers who are still on the journey to figuring out how they're doing that full transition, and having there a clear narrative around how we're getting to that point. How are we driving this? We need to understand from a customer perspective, who are we doing this for? So very clearly articulating who are those individuals, those key personas, and what are the capabilities that they actually want to use, and how does SAP address those capabilities, those topics and issues. Now, the thing that I've always seen when I stood with one foot in the techie environment, with one foot in the business environment, having that proper narrative of how do you bring a business value onto a technology topic and how do you integrate those pieces, that's always the hardest part, to make everybody understand and speak the same language. So coming from, to give you an insight of how customers are addressing challenges, I wanted to reach out and do something different, not come with a techie video or techie assets at first, but give you a perspective of what might be the challenges that a business comes up with, and then how are we addressing those by going that route of understanding personas, understanding business capabilities, and understanding business processes. And there's a link to the API Business Hub that Stefan is going to go into detail later on, but that'll give you a little bit of that tie-in why process and persona knowledge is relevant. So with that, please turn up your volume a little bit and enjoy the next 2 minutes, and then I'll recap.
So, you're 6 weeks out from your company's biggest product launch of the year. But there's one tiny little problem. You've got no product, not even an idea. Oh well, there's always next. Wait, what's that smile for? What are you taking a picture of? What was that?
What? You didn't see it?
Didn't see what? Wait, no, come back. What's going on? What? You're gonna sell a flower?
She did it again.
She did what again?
Nailed it.
Can someone please explain to me what's going on? Wait, hold up a sec. So it looks like you understand this idea, but you still don't think you can hit your sales numbers in time. Do you? My bad. Just trying to understand. Now who's this guy? Maybe he has some answers.
Big idea, little time. Need a plan.
A plan? Yeah, you don't need a plan. You need a miracle.
Let's surprise a few people.
What? Was that aimed at me? What did I do? Hey, where are you going? I'm just being realistic, and I still don't see how you're gonna pull this off. So what? You're gonna make a plan during a montage? Ooh, smooth transition. And here's the montage. Oh, look at that. Forecasting some analyses. I like that. Now we're getting somewhere. Time for a little pick-me-up. All right, I will say it seems like you guys are doing some great collaboration. But they better hurry, because time is a-running out. Okay, so you made it this far, and hey, you managed to make a plan. But who's gonna do it? Who? Her? Yeah, I didn't think so. That guy, he looks busy-ish, making copies. Where are you possibly gonna get enough people?
Right here.
You don't think you're gonna hire that many people in this short a time, do you? No, seriously, you're wasting your time. Whoa, that's a lot of candidates. You found all those people to accomplish all these parts of the plan that quickly? Impressive. So you got your product made and packaged, but how are you gonna get it to stores in time?
Already done.
Like, done? So I think I'm starting to finally get it. I still don't know how you're gonna be able to pull this off with everyone in all these different places in such a short amount of time. But, gotta admit, I'm rooting for you. Here we are, the moment of truth. I don't know about you, but I'm feeling pretty excited.
Wow.
Come on already, I'm dying to know what it is. Wow is right. You guys turned a flower into a fashion statement. So you proved me wrong, but now you gotta tell me, what's your secret?
No one told you? SAP.
So, nice marketing video is usually one of the first terms that I hear about this video, because there's not a lot of demos and so on. What we try to combine here is to actually give you a perspective of the personas, the processes that we're running through. So actually understanding how does lead to cash work, how does the supply chain piece work, what integrations do we need to bring together when we actually spanning from a mobile device to a business process to a backend that has all the relevant data. And driving all of this is obviously our strategy narrative around enabling every enterprise to become an intelligent enterprise, an intelligent, sustainable enterprise, because that's what we're aspiring to get to. Now, in order to properly drive this strategy and this narrative, we need to clearly understand what are all the assets that are coming together. And it starts with our platform technology that provides the foundation of application integration as an extension to a robust ecosystem of solutions and data and technologies such as AI. Now, on top of that, our industry-leading business applications work together, spanning front-end and back-end systems like ERP, HCM, CRM environments, and then all of that comes together to provide customers end-to-end industry-specific business processes as they need them in order to run as an intelligent, sustainable enterprise. Now, the reason for this is very simple. When you look at the video, you span across multiple segments of end-to-end processes. So all these end-to-end processes need to work together properly. They need to have the right integration from a technological standpoint so that your system knows what data to push at which point in time to have that right, that fundamental correct information for you to make the correct choice. But in order to do all that, you need to leverage key technologies and bridge those together in order to make sense of that entire business value stream. So when your business people, your key users, your CEO comes to you and says, this is my vision, that video would be the thing that he's talking about. How do I bridge that gap of bringing technology to be able to facilitate that kind of a vision, that kind of a narrative? And this is now where the deep dive will then continue with Steffen Pietsch, and he's going to give you insights into that bottom layer, the business technology platform, and what it can do for you. Steffen?
Sure, happy to take over. Let me share my screen. So hopefully you can see my screen.
Yes.
Perfect. So thanks, Phil, for introducing the big picture context and strategy. So I will take it from here. And actually, you can really say that turning our vision of the intelligent, sustainable enterprise into reality is powered by SAP BTP. So that is why we are having a closer look at this today. And the BTP is the foundation, as it provides the suite qualities that drive the harmonization and integration or act as glue between the various LOB applications. Because as Phil already outlined, processes do not stop at the border of an LOB application, but span multiple applications. And this is what makes the intelligent enterprise really intelligent, and therefore integration is key. But BTP is not limited to that. It is even more the platform for SAP customers and partners to innovate and to transform in the cloud. And it also bridges the gap in a hybrid world where customers still run a solid SAP footprint on premise, but also want to benefit from the innovations in the cloud. And to foster that transition, BTP is key. BTP is a unified, business-centric, and yet open platform that enables you to really focus on solving the business needs. And the platform brings together application development and automation, integration, data analytics and planning, and AI capabilities in one unified environment, which is optimized for SAP applications. Again, still open, but optimized for tight integration with SAP. So let us walk through each of these categories so that you better understand what BTP actually can provide. Speed matters, and speed is a competitive advantage. And maybe some of you know the study McKinsey published in 2020. The study was about developer velocity, how software excellence fuels business performance. And the result? A clear correlation between the ability to create software innovations at high speed and business performance. For example, customer satisfaction and other KPIs was found in that study. And I do not know any company that uses SAP plain vanilla. And the developers contribute massively to the value creation by optimizing, by automating, and by extending the business processes delivered by SAP. And BTP has several application development and automation capabilities that help our developer community. And SAP BTP enables, on the one hand side, the professional developers that have the ability and expertise to create and maintain software by really writing lines of code, be it by leveraging ABAP skills in the cloud or even cloud native development skills. And on the other hand side, BTP is made for citizen developers. Citizen developers with strong business background, but very limited coding experience, and are best served in their context with a low-code or even no-code experience. And to be very clear, it's not an either or. Both types of developers are needed to meet the increasing application volumes and to address the growing developer backlog. This includes, again, process automation, extensions, and the creation of entirely new applications. Let's come to the second pillar. Intelligent enterprises are integrated enterprises. And this applies not only to standard integration between SAP solutions, but also to enterprise-specific integration of SAP and third-party solutions. And the BTP enables integrations on-premise, so ground to ground, cloud to cloud, as well as hybrid, so cloud to ground. And in addition, ready-made content exists for integration with third-party systems, for B2B scenarios, and even business-to-government integration. And the API Business App comes with a lot of content that is available out of the box, from process blueprints down to APIs, connectors, and a lot more. And I will show you some of this later live. So moving on to the third pillar. And I do believe that in this audience, I do not need to talk much about the relevance of data and the value of data. Because as a data-driven company, it is crucial to have access to the right data and to be able to link data together. And very isolated view of a data source is only helpful in very limited scenarios and questions. SAP BTP capabilities cover the entire life cycle, from integration, storage, cataloging, preparation, modeling of data. And this data can come from either SAP solutions or other sources, be it your hyperscaler of choice, be it any other third-party solution. The advantage is that the semantic context of SAP data, so the data models, their relationships, their semantics are preserved, and then can easily be linked to non-SAP data. And only SAP delivers analytics and planning solutions that are really tightly integrated and are improving the accuracy of forecast and giving actually the business back the time for their really strategic initiatives. So coming to the fourth pillar, SAP BTP offers various AI services and pre-configured models to use artificial intelligence in SAP standard processes, but also in your own processes and extensions. So let me make one example, and just as a spoiler, you find that as a mission in the Discovery Center. You can build an automated bot that reads incoming invoices from an email inbox and then extracts the document information that is relevant and initiates the necessary approval and posting processes. And this is a good example where the different capabilities from app dev, integration, AI come together on one platform with its different capabilities, but optimized again for SAP. With these capabilities, the BTP again fulfills two roles. It is the rock-solid foundation for the intelligent enterprise, and it is the platform for our customers and partners to integrate, to extend, and to leverage the value of the data. The focus of today's community call is on the intelligent enterprise and what we already delivered, and also provide you with some outlook and how you get a better understanding of where we are heading to. The centerpiece of the intelligent enterprise is our integration strategy. And I will share the link to our strategy paper later with you. It's part of that presentation. The building blocks of that strategy are the suite qualities. And thus, it is important to understand their role and what these suite qualities are. So the 7 suite qualities are aligned domain models, seamless user experience, embedded analytics and intelligence, one inbox, consistent security and identity management, end-to-end business blueprints, and coordinated lifecycle management. And actually, we could spend the entire day to really go deep into each of these suite qualities and to understand the background. For today's session, I would like to focus on 2 highlights. Here you can see a rough overview of the progress we made and some of the deliverables that we pushed out recently and how we build out these suite qualities. But for the 2 highlights, I would like to start with the one workflow inbox, or specifically with the Task Center that went live GA end of last year already, but which is continuously increasing its scope, coverage of the intelligent enterprise and its functionality. And just in case you're not familiar with the Task Center, let me briefly explain what it is all about. So the challenge we want to address is that as of now, each and every solution comes with its own approval workflows and tasks. Eventually, these are spread across multiple inboxes. And if you use only one solution, it makes total sense to have your local inbox. But when multiple solutions come together in the intelligent enterprise, then it's not efficient and sometimes also no fun to click through all of these inboxes to not miss any approval that you should give. And the SAP Task Center now unifies this and provides a single inbox where you can find all what you need, be it on your desktop or even on your mobile device. The SAP Task Center provides true business value. It saves time and increases your and your organization's efficiency. But as I'm talking here also to a technical audience, it is important to understand the progress that we made under the hood. To make the Task Center happen, we needed to harmonize the underlying data models. So just to give you an example, different status fields and different values that need to match to be presented in the Task Center as one status. To allow single sign-on with the deep linking and also to automate the provisioning to set up the Task Center. So you can see here on the slide in the upper right corner a link to the video. So if you want, you can watch the Task Center video after this call. But let me quickly demonstrate how you get more information around the Task Center if you really want to set this up. And let me check my browser quickly. Minia, can you see my browser?
I can see your browser, yes.
Okay, perfect. So let me go to the Discovery Center. I hope all of you know the Discovery Center, and if not, this is a great opportunity to learn more about it. The Discovery Center provides you with the service catalog. So there you can find all the services that are available on BTP and the mission catalog. This is what I will go into now. The mission catalog provides you with a set of use cases and a step-by-step guidance how you can leverage the value of the BTP by implementing real-life use cases. You can see here 170 missions are available now. We won't go through all of them, but we just want to look at the Task Center. And if you search for Task Center, you find this tile, establish a central inbox with SAP Task Center. So this is the guidance how you can really implement Task Center in your own environment. And you find, let's say, some kind of description overview in the project board. You find a step-by-step guidance in phases of discovery to really understand what you need also to know about the Task Center, then what you actually need to prepare, and then step-by-step setting it up and giving you an outlook of what is ahead. Also, you find all relevant resources here in one place. So SAP notes linked to help.com, to the Roadblock Explorer, and many, many more. And if you're interested in, just click Start Mission to start the mission for free. So the SAP Task Center is the actual implementation of that suite quality one workflow. And we will come later to the outlook and further development of that. So let me move on. And the second suite quality I want to bring to your attention are the end-to-end business process blueprint. And now you might ask, hey, why is this an important quality? It sounds a little bit like paperwork, but actually it's not. So reference architectures provide the needed guidance for customers and partners how to really implement the solutions and how it all fits together. And in case of the API Business Hub, it really helps bridging the gap between business and IT, as these reference architectures show the connection between a business process and the underlying IT building blocks. And I will showcase this in a minute. To give you the context, the integration suite combines powerful capabilities like cloud integration and API management, for example, and the integration suite is part of the BTP core part of the integration pillar. And to ease the use, we provide various accelerators, as you can see here on the left-hand and right-hand side. So full of valuable content to speed up your projects. And one of these accelerators is the publicly available API Business Hub. And this is what I would like to show next. So if you want to go to the API Business Hub, you simply go to api.sap.com. And again, free of charge and publicly available. And here you can spend days and weeks. So today, what I would like to show you is one example. And again, it's really worth spending time in the API Business Hub and understand what is already available. So the example I want to make is if you want to understand in a certain business process, let's take the lead to cash. If you want to understand, okay, how is it actually working? How are the various solutions from SAP interacting, and what are the APIs, for example, for billing information, so in the invoicing part? If this is your question, I can show you an example how you get more information, can easily leverage what the API Business Hub provides. So you go to business processes, and here you can find the leading processes that Phil presented earlier. And there's also more, as I can show you later. Let's go to the lead to cash. And here you find now various solution variants. What does it mean? For example, you can have an implementation of a lead to cash for a pure cloud deployment, or you can have an implementation in a hybrid world. In our case, we will go to the cloud deployment. And now you have various architecture views. What I'm interested in is the solution value flow diagram, because I'm really interested in the business activities and then the underlying implementation. So I go to the solution processes. And what you can see here on this screen is the lead to cash overview with its sub-processes, so contact to lead, lead to opportunity, etc., etc. And in our case, the order to cash, and specifically the invoicing the customer process step. So in this business activity, when I now really drill down to that business activity, we will end up in this overview. And what you can see here are the involved solutions. So SAP Commerce Cloud, S/4HANA Cloud, Integration Suite, and subscription billing, and the various steps. And in our case, to request the list of invoices, SAP Commerce Cloud calls S/4HANA Cloud. And when I click on this arrow here, I directly jump to the API that is used. This API deals with with billing documents. And you can see here various API endpoints. And when you, for example, get to the get method and click on this, you get access to many more information. So what are the parameters that you can use in this API call? And the best thing is it is not a static documentation only. You can even try it out. So when I use try it out, I call this API in a sandbox environment, which is provided free of charge by SAP. This is not applicable for all APIs, but for many of the OData and REST APIs that are available. When I call run, I fire this API call, and luckily I get an HTTP 200, which sounds pretty good, and all the information from the billing document that I requested. Again, one example, coming from the business process perspective and drilling and narrowing it down to the pure IT and API perspective. And there is a lot more that you can explore. You can dig in either via the products or via the business processes Phil outlined earlier, or if you look specifically for a certain API or event, you can go through that category as well. So we invest a lot in providing the end-to-end reference architectures, because we see it is important that you know how the various pieces fit together. So let me come to the last section, the roadmap. And so same here, we could spend the entire day about what is happening in the context of the BTP or the intelligent enterprise. What I would like to focus is really the integration strategy and the intelligent enterprise. From a BTP perspective, just very high level, our focus is to further strengthen the the B in BTP, so the business aspect, BTP as foundation for the LOB, the tight integration of BTP capabilities with the LOBs, for example, to integrate the no-code approach with event mesh to allow event-driven applications using a no-code approach. So a lot of integration stuff between the BTP and the LOBs. Second strategic area is enterprise-grade foundation. So further improve the resilience, work on near zero downtime capabilities, security and compliance, everything around enterprise-grade foundation. Third pillar for us are the cloud journeys. So how we can support our customers and ease the transition from on-premise to the cloud. And finally, to empower the ecosystem. So all around 3-tier, building out our marketplace, empowering the ecosystem and partners. So this is a general, let's say, BTP perspective. Now focusing on the intelligent enterprise and the integration strategy, if you're interested in the details, I recommend starting with the integration strategy paper. So in this presentation here, you find the link. I will show you another way how to do this later. And this is not a static PDF file, it's more an interactive file. So when you scroll in this strategy paper, you find a lot of now well-known, but also hopefully new and interesting information. For example, customer stories, and you come to the processes and the outcomes, business outcomes that you can achieve with these processes in terms of an intelligent enterprise. And you find a link to the roadmaps. Let me showcase this. You will navigate to the Roadblock Explorer. This is the one and only truth when it comes to outlook and future development of our portfolio. And there are different perspectives that you can use. One is, as I just clicked on the lead to cash process, you can filter all the innovations that we plan and strive for from a process perspective. So in this case, lead to cash. But what you also can do is, so when I delete that filter, you can search for the suite qualities. The suite qualities I outlined before. And as I showcased the Task Center, let's stay with that example. So I go to the One Workflow inbox. And here you find everything that is planned for the further evolution of that suite quality. And for example, as you can see here, our current planning foresees that we enable the Task Center also for Ariba sourcing or for Concur expense. Or if you scroll down, you can see that we also plan to integrate SAP process automation with the Task Center. So a lot is happening here, and everything that is planned you can find in the Roadmap Explorer. So a very, very valuable tool if you want to learn more about the future development of the intelligent enterprise, either going via the processes or via the suite qualities. The same applies if you look at the BTP as a whole. If you start with the Roadmap Explorer, you can navigate to Business Technology Platform, find the various capabilities, and can then navigate further. And there is a lot happening, so really worth investing time in navigating through the Roadmap Explorer. So to recap and provide you with some key takeaways before we come to the Q&A. Again, intelligent enterprises are integrated enterprises. And the integration strategy with its suite qualities as building blocks, this is the lever to really make the intelligent enterprise a reality. And it's already good to see the progress that we make here, and in the roadmap you can find what we are heading for. SAP BTP is the technical foundation for the intelligent enterprise, as well as the platform for our customers and partners to innovate and to transform. So as there is a lot happening, and this refers to the suite qualities, but also to the BTP itself, in a very fast pace, it is important to stay up to date. And one important source of information is actually our community. So to stay up to date, the community page is the key resource, in addition to the before mentioned Discovery Center, API Business Hub, and Roadmap Explorer. And this is the final link I want to show you, because on this community page, you find all the links to what I showed you before, but also when you scroll down, apart from this wonderful session today, you can find more information about the suite qualities. So for each of the qualities, you find detailed information and presentations. So if you're interested in one of them, please take the time and navigate through these assets that you find here on this page. You find the strategy paper here, etc., etc. And then it most probably will happen that you have a question. And in that case, please leverage the community. Ask a question in the community. We have so many great developers, architects, consultants, business, and then in our community, in our customer and partner base, and also our SAP colleagues are more than happy to support you here. So let's work together as one community and do not shy away. If you have any questions, just push them in the community to get the proper support. And when we're talking about questions, this would also be a good time now to push your questions to the chat. Phil and I are happy to discuss and to talk with you.
Thank you so much, Stefan and Phil. Great presentation, awesome. Yeah, we should be jumping into Q&A. Maybe I start with one. I was wondering, how does RISE with SAP fit into this?
So do you want to start?
Sure. So I mean, when we're talking about RISE, the classic interaction that you would have in the old days is you've got a partner for your hosting or multiple partners. You've got someone who helps you with your implementations. You've got SAP in the mix. You've got your internal IT. So you've got all these multiple entities that are trying to frame up how your environment should look like. But in the context of RISE, RISE with SAP is a solution designed to support your business needs in your industry, in any geography, and for those requirements that you have there, with SAP being responsible for the holistic service level agreement. So the classic SLA, the cloud operations of that piece, and also the technical support. And this includes products like Cloud ERP, Business Process Intelligence, Business Platform and Analytics, Business Network Starter Pack, and a number of outcome-driven services and tools that our partners provide out of our cloud infrastructure partners, AWS, Microsoft, Google, as well as the VAR partners, the value-added reseller partners that we have.
Awesome.
Let me quickly add. So the BTP is everywhere. I mean, it is, as I mentioned, the essential ingredient of current and future SAP landscape. So therefore, also as part of RISE, there are certain CPA credits attached so that you can easily also try out the BTP and its capabilities. Plus, you even don't need RISE if you want to try out. So free tier already now offers you a great opportunity to really assess the value that BTP brings to the table.
And maybe on a quick note, as you bring that up, Stefan, I mean, one of the key pieces that we're trying to drive with assets that we're making publicly available, the strategy integration paper, we're trying to give not only our customers, but also our partners, the transparency in terms of what integration services are we actually providing. What is in there out of the box, what is in there that you can additionally get your hands on, but we're trying to give you the whole framing on what does SAP provide you versus you trying to figure out what other things are there that I need a third party to come in and try and build that same integration. So we're truly looking at that entire process, or that entire architecture piece of how is product A connected to product B? what is that integration layer? What are the services that are there? How can those be properly consumed? And what can I do with it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you both. No, that's super helpful. Thanks for the explanation. Yeah, if I got it right, the SAP Discovery Center is mainly around BTP related scenarios, right? Is there also an option to explore E2E business scenarios before I get into the licensing topic?
So let me take this one, and Phil, you might want to add. So the answer is clear yes and no. So the Discovery Center is for sure helping you to understand the business value of the BTP and to translate it in actionable use cases. So to really implement certain use cases in business cases and therefore give the proper guidance. But, and this is why I say yes and no, it is not limited to, let's say, BTP in terms of standalone, but it is in most cases in conjunction with one or more LOB solutions, because the BTP is not meant to be the, let's say, standalone multi-purpose platform, but it is optimized for SAP and can unfold its value best when it is tightly integrated with other LOB solution. And this is what the Discovery Center provides you with the missions to really understand, on the one hand side, from, let's say, inspiration perspective, okay, what can I do to really walk through these missions there? Or if you have a specific use case in mind, and the use cases we show there are the use cases that many of our customers actually have implemented already, then you really get this step-by-step guidance. And finally, the service catalog is the single source of truth when it comes to an overview of what services are really available. So as of now, we are talking about 96 services that you can use on the BTP, and you find everything you need in the Discovery Center, in the service catalog, be it commercial information, be it where a certain service is available, etc.
Awesome. I'll remember the service catalog, definitely, to keep an eye out. Yeah, Veronica asked in chat, what does the SAP BTP platform provide to stand out of the competition?
So I Phil, I hope it's okay if I start, and then
Go ahead.
So as I mentioned, there are the two dimensions, but one I would like to emphasize is the optimization for SAP specifics. So we, for example, own the semantic layer and the semantic knowledge about how, for example, the data models fit together. So if you, for example, want to use the BTP for a data scenario where you combine hyperscaler data from various hyperscaler with SAP data, then you can still keep the governance of your SAP data, leveraging Data Warehouse Cloud, for example, and data intelligence, and to combine in a federated scenario hyperscaler data without losing the understanding and knowledge of the SAP specifics. And also in many other cases, the tight integration of the BTP with the SAP portfolio is one of our key assets. And this is also from an investment point of view where we really focus on to have the BTP and the LOB solutions tightly integrated together. And then there are multiple, let's say, more detailed topics like, for example, hyperscaler agnostic, that you can use BTP services across multiple hyperscalers and many, many more. But the business centricity and business in terms of SAP centricity is one of the key aspects here. And so if I have one more minute, just to add, in this sense, we also provide a lot of content, business content, again, that is specific for SAP, that eases the projects and shortens the project duration, as we are optimize and help and guide our customers here. And for the scenarios I mentioned before, for example, the federated data scenario, again, you find in the Discovery Center a step-by-step guidance how to implement that. And also in the API Business Hub, for example, you find a lot of content that is available.
And maybe to tie this also a little bit back to our initial starting point of the state of business transformation. I mean, when you look at the top cloud complexities there, connectivity and integration issues is almost 1/3 of the respondents that replied that that's an issue for them. The second part being lack of internal cloud experience. I mean, coming out of 15 years of technology consulting and having that switch now from I'm going from on-premise to the cloud, I suddenly need to understand hyperscaler capability. I need to understand cloud architecture. I need to understand on-premises architecture. I need to understand enterprise environments, and that definition of what is a true enterprise cloud architect, and how do we address knowledge gaps that with the emergence of cloud, you've got less people that do the in-depth techie stuff on the customer side, but a lot of the knowledge also sits then with partners outside of your company. So understanding all of those pieces and bringing that properly together, having an ecosystem that understands the language that each of its pieces talk. It's sort of like when you try to have an iPhone talk to an iPad and talk to iCloud. If you throw a Samsung phone into the mix, you're going to get hiccups in terms of communication, in terms of translations, and so on. So understanding how your extensibility from on-premise to cloud to cloud capabilities to platform capabilities actually drives that platform-centric mindset and combines it together with a customer-centric mindset that allows you to then say, okay, who's my persona? What's the business capability? How do I address technology capabilities? And how do I span it across that end-to-end process chain? That's of utmost importance to understand how that part works.
Thanks for your answers, Stefan and Phil. Yeah, keep them coming, everyone. It's great to have everyone here. And if you have any questions, then take the opportunity to raise them. From my side, I guess it's worth mentioning again, if any one of you just joined at the end, well, yeah, where would people go if they want to find concrete information about upcoming improvements for certain business processes, or even those on-suite qualities? Where should they go to find these details?
I mean, so if you take it, and I mentioned it in the beginning, Stefan's and my team are working hand in hand to provide a very granular and repetitive update to the strategy integration paper. So if you have initial questions, that would be my personal first anchor point to go to and understand what is there, how does it connect to everything. The second step would be talk to the community. I mean, having been part of the SAP mentor environment, part of the SAP community for almost 9 years between 2010 and 2020, my initial step, either I had someone at SAP who I could contact and talk to, but the most frequent step was always, is there anybody in the community that can show me a blog, that can show me context, that can give me insights, that allows me to first get a certain perspective on the topic, and then I can progress further down the line in terms of gathering infos.
Thank you, Phil. Stefan?
Not too much to add. So community, I can only emphasize first starting point. And with regards to the community page that I showed before, there you can find also the links to, for example, Roadblock Explorer that then provides you with really very detailed information, or again, back to the strategy paper, etc., etc. So recommend to bookmark that page.
All right, yeah, that definitely makes sense. We also shared in the chat. Everyone go click on the links, best to bookmark them, join the conversations already, join us, join the other community members that have already been heavily talking about SAP BTP, the integration strategy in the community. Yeah, let me have a look into the chat once more. And of course, that gives you all still time to think of further questions. It's always funny. We get to the end of Q&A and then suddenly a question pops up. So of course, I want to give everyone still that time.
I mean, while we are waiting, let me
Yeah.
use the opportunity to once more emphasize the Discovery Center, because I really find it very helpful. Also had this in many discussions with the customers. So simply browse through the missions that are available in the Discovery Center helps to really get inspired and to understand what is possible. And then you find links to additional assets, be it other SAP sites or variable resources. So really recommend going to the Discovery Center. Also browse the service catalog that you are familiar with what is possible on the BTP. So make use of that opportunity.
Exactly. That's very important. Thanks for addressing this again, Stefan. All right, we get to the end. Thanks everyone for joining this call. I hope you liked it. Give us a thumbs up or share your thoughts in the comments or go to the community and let us know. Definitely visit the Discovery Center as Stefan highlighted it again. And yeah, hope to see you again in one of our next calls, community calls. Find them in the community on which other topics we have still coming up. But with that, big applause to Stefan and Phil. Thank you both for your time, dedication on being here with us, talking to the community around SAP BTP. Thank you, audience, for being here, for your attention, for the chat interactions. And yeah, have a really great day and see you soon.
Thank you,
Thanks.
everybody.
Thank you, Nina.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Nina. Bye.